Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2. How are you? You are never going to believe what happened last night. So it was really windy and rainy, and it literally rained all day, like never a stop. And overnight, with the continued rain and the continued wind, a tree fell on my car. The funniest part is that it happened to be the car that my crazy car guy sold me. If you listened to day 1, you'll laugh because it's just so funny. Yes, Russell. So, isn't it crazy how life goes sometimes? And you just never know what the weather is going to do. When I woke up this morning and saw what had happened, I just felt really grateful that it didn't break any windows. I've yet to see if there are dents on it. There is a crew outside right now chainsawing the tree and getting it off the car. So if you hear chainsaw noises, that would be why. Oh, you guys, welcome to day 2. So happy to be here. What did you think of yesterday, everybody? Tell me how your homework went. Did you do the things I challenged you to do? Did you take action? Or did you avoid doing it? Notice what thoughts created either scenario. If you didn't do it, what thoughts created that? If you did do it, what thoughts created that? What emotion did they cause you to feel to either take action or avoid action? Some of you are showing me in the comments that Darla says that her posts were all missing number 3. Yep. It is a thing, my friend. And it's all of us, right? This is what the research shows. So I'm not surprised that you found this to be true on your own research of your posts. All right, everybody. Welcome to those of you that are joining us today for the first time. Don't worry, you're fine. You can jump on at any time. You can watch any part. You're always going to get exactly what you were meant to get today. You're never behind. That's my only rule for my clients. And you are my client this week. You are never behind. You're always right where you're supposed to be, and you're getting exactly what you need to get out of showing up to exactly what you're showing up to. And if you had trouble finding your replay, we found that some of them, not a lot, but some of them went into your spam and junk folder. So the way to make sure that you can grab that replay is go to your search box in your email and type in Emily Gibson or INGITE, and it should come right up. If you have any trouble finding your replay at all, just email the team at emilygibsoncoaching.com and they will help you get your replay today. I'm going to be sending these out to you every single afternoon, but because of my love for emoji, sometimes my emails get marked as junk because it messes with deliverability. But you guys, I just love emoji. I speak emoji. Do you speak emoji? So that's why my cute emojis, I just love how cute they look in the subject line, but my team tells me that sometimes that can mess up deliverability. So just know, do a quick search. It'll come right up and you'll be all set. All right, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of INGITE. Today is all about duplication. Yesterday, we talked about recruiting. And the reason I talk about that on day 1 is because recruiting is the foundation of duplication. Some of you have no problems with your recruiting, especially now that you know the 3 steps and where the holes might be for you, right? And those of you that did the homework, you're now seeing where some of those holes are a little bit more clearly. What parts have you not taught your team, or what parts do you need to focus on more with your team in this area? When you think about duplication, I want to know, what is the first thought that you have? The very first thought that comes to mind. When I say the word duplication, what is the sentence that you hear in your head? Some of you are giving me your feelings: panic, hard, momentum, simplicity, system, team, more, please, Colin. Yes. I don't know how, not sure where to begin, multiply, difficult, no one wants this, reinventing the wheel. I'm bad at that. I need to get better at that. Help! These are so good, you guys. These are absolutely perfect. So, so good. Okay. So now tell me, when you have that thought, what is the one word emotion that you feel when you think it? Like when you think the thought, help, what's the one word emotion? One word. Sometimes you'll give me another thought. I don't want another thought. I want the one word. Oh, good, good, good. Unprepared, confusion, powerless, frustrated, fear, scared, panicky, defeat, struggling. I think struggling is a sentence. I'd encourage you, if you said the word struggling, I encourage you to seek for what that makes you feel. Struggle is more not a word I would use to define an emotion. I would say something like stressed or confused or discouraged or things like that. But when you say I feel struggle, that to me feels like a sentence and a thought. So just a little tweak there. Good. Worried, overwhelmed, anxious. Yes. All right. Now, whatever emotion you are feeling right now, it has some very important information that it's trying to tell you. If you want to get coached on it today, I can help you find it out, or you can listen to someone else get coached today and you'll find it out that way too, just like you may have noticed yesterday. Who noticed as they listened yesterday to me coach that it felt like I was coaching you on something just for you in your mind, even though it might not have even been the same topic? Like when I was coaching yesterday at the end and you heard your story, did your brain then apply it to either the same thing or something totally different in your mind? Lots of yeses in the comments. That's the magic of coaching. That's the magic. That's where things really land. Kim says, listening to Emily coach others has actually helped me parent my 14-year-old. Yes, it has this like trickle effect onto all of the areas in your life. It's magic. So applicable. You think you're coming to me to get coaching in your business, and you totally are, but also it's going to help you in every area of your life. And it's incredible. This is why I love the power of coaching. Okay. Now, the emotion that you're feeling that you identified from that one sentence, when I say the word duplication, you think what, you feel what. I want you to write down that one word emotion. And I want you to ask yourself why you're feeling that emotion. This is just a check-in. It's like a security insurance policy to make sure we're working with the thought that's causing that emotion. Yes. Okay. Now, I believe that our emotions are what God has given us as a GPS system or navigation system for our lives. They tell us which way to go or not to go. But that doesn't mean that every time we feel a negative emotion that we're going the wrong way. This is where things get muddy for you if you feel uncomfortable or scared of turning one person into 10. But I'm going to teach you today how to do that and show you how to manage your mind through it so that you can be totally unstoppable. When you're leading a team, and those of you that are like, I don't have a team yet, just tell your brain, shh, shh, she's going to get to that. It doesn't matter if you don't have a team. If you don't have a team, then I'm going to teach you what to do with the people you're recruiting to make a team. And if you already have a team, I'm going to show you how to take that team and duplicate even more. When you're leading a team, whether it's just the people that you're trying to recruit in now and then take those people and duplicate, or you have a medium-sized team or a very large team, you're putting yourself out there. These are universal to any size team. So I don't want to hear, Emily, this doesn't apply to me. Wrong. That's a thought error. It all applies to you. So I want you to stay tuned in to me today. It's normal for other human beings to criticize you. It's totally normal. That means that even the best of leaders, myself included, and you're a leader, even if you don't have a team yet. Did you know? You're a leader if you don't have a team yet. And even the very best leaders, you being on this call today defines you as a leader. You're leading out and doing something to help yourself improve. That's what leaders do. And as a leader, you're going to have your critics. And right now, it might just be your husband or your mom or your sister or your neighbor next door. But you are a leader, and it doesn't mean that if someone is criticizing you, that you're doing anything wrong. It doesn't. But sometimes you let your brain tell you the story that you are. We're going to clean that up today. Where does team go in the model? When we look at the model, let's scoot over and bring it back in for you guys today. When we look at the model here, oops, hold on. My chair is not in the same place as yesterday. There we go. All right. Where does team go in the model? Circumstance. Very good. Look at you guys. Very good. Yep. Team goes in the circumstance line. It's a fact. You have a team. You don't have a team. Either way, team. And then what you think about it is how you're going to feel. And what you think is going to create the result that you have in the team you do or do not have. Now, before we dive into duplication, the how of it, I'm going to give you the actual how. 3 things that are your fail proof every single time. It has created a downline of over 20,000 people for me over the last 7 years. It will work for you too. It is foolproof. All right. I'm going to teach you a concept that I love before we get started, and it's called 50-50. 50% of the time we feel positive emotions, and 50% of the time we feel negative emotions. It's totally normal and a universal law, but your brain thinks that you should feel happy and good emotions 100% of the time. This is because your lower primitive brain from your caveman days is programmed on a cellular level to think that negative emotions mean death. You are hardwired to avoid discomfort, seek pleasure, and conserve energy. This was super, super handy hundreds of thousands of years ago when there was a lion outside of your cave that was going to eat you. But now it's just your brain being misinformed on what's going to make it die. It thinks that if you do a Facebook Live, it will die. Who feels like they're going to die if they have to do a Facebook Live? Who feels like they're going to die if they have to ask someone to do a Facebook Live? Anyone? Yes, look at the chat. Yes. Yes. The 2 biggest fears of people are death by water or death by fire and public speaking. Yeah. So you're good. You're right in line with the majority here, everybody. Now, it used to be that you would have to be liked by the tribe. Humans are a tribal species, and you had to be invited to sit around the fire at night if you were going to eat. And so people pleasing is something that is also in our DNA. It's on a cellular level. If you weren't liked by your tribe as a caveman or cave woman, you would be blocked out from sitting around the fire and starve to death. And so would your family. So being a people pleaser is so much more than a personality or self-confidence thing. And I'm just going to give you permission today to never beat yourself up over it ever again. You don't even have to be like, oh, I'm a people pleaser. Woe is me. Nope. I'm a people pleaser because I'm a human being and I have a human brain and it's there in my brain. This doesn't give you permission to go around trying to please everyone. And we'll get to that later, but just let yourself off the hook forever from now on. It's a human thing. There you go, being human again. So being a people pleaser is in your DNA on a cellular level, and we all have it innately in us to do it. So if you say you're a people pleaser, that just means you're more aware of your people pleasing. But all human beings are wired to be liked because of the nature of our lower primitive brains that just haven't evolved past it yet. So just take a nice big sigh of relief and let yourself off the hook. There's nothing wrong with you that you want others to like you. There you go, being human again. All right. Now, females, listen up. You're extra special in this way. It's hard to remember that our bodies are still the ancient, archaic machines that they were back when we lived in caves, but it's true. The human body and brain are designed for survival of the species, plain and simple. Women's brains in particular are designed for social harmony because the survival of our human race once depended on it. Back in the wild, if a woman lost her male protector or provider, she and her children would be vulnerable to predators and starvation. It wasn't easy for women to survive on their own and run out of harm's way while toting around all of their kids. Where are the single mamas on the call here? You are doing it, my friends. You're doing it on your own, and your ancestors could have never done what you're doing. Give yourself a giant high five every single day that you are supporting those kids and no one is dying because you are a freaking champion. The cave woman's goal was to keep peace and harmony with all the other members of the clan to ensure her protection and see that her kids made it to adulthood and continue the circle of life. This is why women as a species avoid conflict situations. Men avoid emotional scenes, by the way. How many women on here hate conflict? Drop a 1 in the comment if you hate conflict. Especially the more direct and assertive personalities. Like some of you might say, I don't mind conflict. I would say that to you. I would say, I don't mind conflict. That's because you have a more direct and assertive personality. But research points to even those females with that personality who seek out conflict rather than avoid it, seek it out as a form of perseverance socially and emotionally. So even though you say you don't mind conflict, it's actually you like surviving, like survival of the fittest. It's like you being survivor, seeking it out as a form of perseverance socially and emotionally, where someone else might avoid it altogether as a form of social and emotional perseverance. Isn't this the coolest research ever? So for most women, conflict is a traumatic event because on a deep level, it may feel like a life or death issue. Anyone have struggles with their upline, their downline, any of that? This is why you feel like it's a life or death situation. The feelings of aversion are brought on by changes in brain neurochemicals that can be triggered by conflict. The changes that happen in a woman when conflict is happening are described as unbearable activation of the brain by serotonin, dopamine, and I can't ever say this word, you guys, norepinephrine. It's a tricky one. Tears, nausea, the feeling of a pit in your stomach are frequent outcomes. Anyone feel better about why having conflict in your upline and downline or one of your friends telling you you're scamming them or part of a pyramid scheme can make you feel sick to your stomach now? Yes. Yes. There you go, being human again. There's nothing wrong with you. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're not cool enough. It doesn't mean you're sensitive or emotional. Nope. You're a human being. It's the way your body was designed to avoid it so that you would survive. It's also why when you're not talking to your upline, or you're in a disagreement with her, or she's criticizing you, or you're criticizing her, it can feel like a matter of life and death. Women turn to their girlfriends in times of conflict and trouble. So when you're working with your girlfriends in network marketing and the conflict and trouble has to do with something someone has done on your team, something you did, said, she did, said, it feels catastrophic. And there's an intense desire to fix it. This is because if a stone-aged gal lost her man during a hunt, she would depend on her girlfriends to help take care of her and her children. She would have to ask, like the girlfriend would have to ask the male partner to share their food that was already hard to get. So for women, preserving relationships was a long matter of life and death. And that's why sustaining these relationships is still one of women's greatest needs. So when your best friend that was going to hit the top of the company with you quits and won't respond to any of your messages, it can feel catastrophic. And now you know why. You also know why when someone has an amazing experience with your products and you finally get them to post and they get this big reaction from their friends and family, and you're like, yes, finally, I'm going to hit the top of my company. I finally found my runner. And then someone tells that person something like, oh, it's a scam. Did you know? And those things are going to kill you if you put them in your body. Did you know? And they all of a sudden are like, I can't. I'm sorry. It's just not for me. I just can't do it. Gah. The reason why they feel that way, the reason why they avoid doing it is because of this thing that's innately in them, making them feel like this is a life or death situation. All right, now you can have a better understanding for why people do that. And you can even like help them explain it. You can educate people about this in your social media using the system I taught you yesterday about how to send out the sonar waves. This is one of those things. Use this research that I'm teaching you about women in particular and why they avoid network marketing and why there's conflict. Put this out, you guys. Use it. Use it to advance your businesses because knowledge is power. And this research that I'm putting in your pocket every single day this week is going to explode your business if you take action with it. Now, back to this concept of 50-50. I believe that life is 50-50, and I also believe that human beings are 50-50. 50% of your day is going to be positive, and the other 50% of your day is going to be negative. But for you type A people out there like myself, this doesn't mean that you get to decide that the 50% negative is just out of the way the first half of the day. Like my tree fell on my car. I literally woke up and I was like, good thing we got the 50% negative out of the way. The rest of the day is going to be perfect. That's not how it works. We cannot be in control and perfectly plan our 50-50 for our day, although we think we might. It's a mixture of in and out all day long, depending on what you're thinking as you encounter different circumstances throughout your day. This extends to our humanness in the same way. You're a 50-50 human. You're 50% a mess and 50% exceptional. I'm the world's most okayest mom. And my kids know it. So when they say, how come you can't be one of those moms that like takes us to lunch and stuff? And like, how come you can't be one of those moms that like comes and works in the classroom every day? And I'm like, oh, because I'm not one of those moms. I am the most amazing 50-50 mom. That's what I am. And I don't like to do some of those things, but I love you. And I like to do other things with you, right? This is true of all humans. You're 50% a mess and you're 50% exceptional. It's true of humans, mothers, uplines, downlines, presidents of companies, wives, husbands, boyfriends, girlfriends, and on and on and on. I am a 50% okayest mom. I'm a 50-50 upline. I'm a 50-50 wife, and so are you. This means that we are humans, not robots. And humans are not going to walk around doing everything the way we want them to all of the time, which is why you think it's hard to get people to do the business with you, or you get tired of trying to develop leaders on your team that go in and out of working and say they want it, but don't actually make any effort consistently to get the results you know they're capable of. Another thing about humans that's important to note is that we are experts at reading other humans. especially as women. Women have better memories for the details of both pleasant and unpleasant experiences. Scientists attribute this to the fact that women have a larger hippocampus. That's the seat of memory and learning in the brain. For better or worse, women notice everything, and we'll never forget it. Men, you never even had a chance. Women are wired to pick up on the details of people, places, and things, but mostly people. Thousands of years ago, successful mothering means that females in the human race were finely tuned, detail noticing machines, which is why when you tell your upline you're fine and not bugged, she can sense that you're lying even through Facebook Messenger and vice versa. It's why your group team chat knows when you're on your period, because you're so irritable. And why, when you're annoyed with your team because they just won't work, they feel it from you, even if you're saying all the right things and pretending to be really understanding and patient, when really you're just burned out and exhausted and don't want to feel like you have to lead them all of the time and carry it all on your shoulders. I'm going to teach you today how to handle those situations in a more effective way so that you can take anyone on your team and turn 1 into 10 without anyone having to change or be different for you to be better about the duplication process, and about how your team doesn't have to work any harder or perform any better for you to feel successful in your business. So let's talk about the instruction manual you have for your upline or your team that won't work, or your friends and your family and your husband and your kids that won't listen to you, and people that won't do the business, and your customers that won't post and they just quit before really ever giving your product or business a try, and really everyone in your life. It's called a manual. Say it with me, manual. And you've had one since you were born. You learned from birth that if you cried, someone would feed you, change you, hold you, and help you fall asleep. All of your needs were met by this, so you followed the instruction manual. A manual is an instruction guide that we have for someone in our lives about how we would like them to behave so we can feel good and happy. Remember, you think you're supposed to be happy 100% of the time. You're wrong. We generally don't tell people what our manual is for them, and we usually don't even realize we have it or see the pain it causes us. We just think the other person, our upline, our team, our kids, our spouse, our partner, should just know what to do and how to treat us. She should shout me out immediately when I rank up, not a week later. She should praise me in front of others. She should get me a rank up gift. She should message me more during the day and ask if I need help. She should teach me more in 3-way messages so I can learn to duplicate better. She should help with incentives. She should include me in all of her chats. She should work with me more because, fill in the blank. She should hold regular team calls. She should do daily power hours for me to succeed. She should actually work her business. She should text me back faster when I message her. She should remember my birthday. She should invite me when she has a party. She should write me a thank you note for all the money I make her. She should be kind and understand when I'm frustrated. She should listen to me for as long as I've listened to her. She should know what I like. And when it comes to your team, if they would just work, then you'd be able to rank up faster. They should post more and send more messages if they want to rank up. They say they want to, and then they don't do anything. It's so annoying that they don't work more in the summer and around the holidays. If they would just get on the team calls and power hours, then their business would grow. I can't take care of everyone, and they expect me to. They should take care of their people. They should watch trainings like I did to learn. They should be working harder than I am at this point. They should support me better. They shouldn't work less when things are going on in their lives. That never slows me down. They should tell me how much they appreciate me. They should expect me to run they shouldn't expect me to run all the team events for them. They should work on the weekends still. They should be checking into the threads more during the day. They should comment on my challenges and participate more. Does anyone feel like I'm in their head? This is why you are going to want me as your coach forever, because I get it, because I've lived it and I've done it. While it may seem justified to have expectations of other people, it can be so damaging when your emotional happiness is directly tied to their behaving a certain way. And this goes for your friends and family that you're trying to get to sign up and post and sign up people on their own too. These examples are simple and brief, but the truth is that most manuals are pages and pages thick for each person in our life, especially our uplines and our teams. They are complicated, intricate, and detailed manuals. Rather than sharing these expectations with the person they're about, what do we normally do? Well, people with manuals usually just think that the other person should inherently know them. They are then eager to interpret this as a sign that they are really not loved by this person, and that's why they're not doing all these things for us. The truth is that adult humans have the ability and freedom to behave however they choose. This includes you. There is nothing you ever have to do. There is nothing anyone else ever has to do for you. Each of us is responsible for meeting our own needs. Sometimes you might feel responsible for filling someone else's needs, and they might feel responsible for filling yours. Like when your team wants to help you rank up, and so they work really hard to get you to your rank up goal, but then later they tell you they resent you for it and are burned out and don't think this is the right thing for them anymore. Or maybe you felt that way about your upline's last rank up. You cannot control another person, and there's nothing they could possibly do that would make you as happy as you want to be. Your team can't do it, and your upline can't do it for you. All of the power to feel happy lies within you. If your emotional life is tied to your upline or your team's behavior, or your customers doing what you want to hit your next goal, then you've given all of your power away and you've set yourself up for disaster. And being in a relationship with someone who is needy like that is exhausting and not fun. It's no wonder your upline is ignoring your messages. When you put your emotions in the hands of the results you are able to achieve in your business, or how you can or can't get your customers or team to act, and then they don't follow the manual you have in your mind for how they should be acting, then you're guaranteed to feel negative emotions. This usually leads to you then blaming someone else or something like your lack of points, people quitting, and this business not working for you for how you feel. You blame all of that for how you feel. You give away your control and all of your power of your emotional life to someone else when you do this, cementing your own powerlessness. The way to get around this is to notice the instruction manual you have for yourself, your customers, your family and friends, your upline, and to let go of it, which I'm going to teach you how to do today, along with my 3-step system for tried and true duplication that you can systematically use to turn one person into 10 or more over and over and over again. Then I'm going to bring on 1 to 2 people for coaching who want me to help them work through their duplication problems that they are having so you can fix it all in your life. The reason why I'm teaching you about 50/50 and manuals along with my 3-step system of duplication is because when you think about duplication and you're not doing it at the level I know you can be doing it, is because of the manual you have for yourself. Manuals happen here in the T line, your thoughts, your beliefs. A manual is a belief, okay? Happens here for yourself, for your team, and the people you are bringing in, or the people you're scared to develop and bring in because you're burned out. Because in the past, you ran yourself ragged with all of your manuals, and then you felt burnt out. And now you avoid doing it and you're like, oh, can't my team just do it? I just don't want to bring anyone else in. I'm just so tired. Whatever it is for you, we're going to get to the bottom of it today. All right, let's jump right into duplication and how to do it. Duplication is simply teaching someone how to recruit, which you had to do to bring them in. You now know the 3-step system for recruiting. So to duplicate that, you must teach someone else how to do that system. You do this by post, live, and party. PLP. Isn't that cute? PLP. Anytime you come to me and you're like, Emily, my team's not growing, I'm going to be saying, are you doing your PLP? Are you doing your PLP? Asking number one, step 1. Are you ready? Number 1 of PLP. Post, live, party. PLP. Are you doing your PLP? I know you're not. Don't lie to me. I know you're not with every person. That's what we're going to get down and dirty with today. Number one, step one, asking them to post about the products or business and or message friends and family that they think might benefit from it too. I'm sorry to tell you, they're not going to do it on their own. They're not just going to magically wake up and be like, I know what I'm going to do today. I'm going to become a network marketer. No, they're not doing that. They're not doing that. Even my best leaders didn't do that. Not a single one of them. Not a single one of them. I've developed over 25 leaders to the very, very top of our company in my 7-year career. Not a single one of them did it on their own. They all required me or someone else to influence them here in their T line. Are you doing your PLP? I know you're not, because your team's not where you want it to be. And even if it is, you could be even better. And your team could be even better if you were more meticulous in this. That's what I'm here for, to get you to be more meticulous. Okay, so ask them to post something about products or business and tell them to message friends and family that they think might benefit it too. Use 3-way messages to help them along in this process. Help them sign up people. What does the first post say, Emily? I know you're going to ask me, so I'm going to tell you. It says something like this. I just wanted to thank my friend Emily for helping me get started with X, whatever it is that you're selling, whatever company, however you want them to say it. It's helped her with X, Y, and Z, and I'm hoping it's going to help me with ABC. If you're looking to improve LMNOP, I hope you'll reach out or leave a comment, because I'd love to have a buddy join me in this awesome community of support and accountability I'm starting with already. I'm going to put it in the chat for you guys. But I'm not going to put everything in the chat, because that's why you get the recording. So you can go back and listen and do yourself justice. Okay, now listen up. You cannot control all the humans. I'm going to say it again. You cannot control all the humans. So I want to be very clear. You are to ask everyone these things. You are not to expect that they will all do exactly what you want them to do. It is not in their action or their result that you determine if you're doing it right or wrong. You're doing it right if you're doing your PLP with every person. Say it again. How do you know if you're doing it right? You're doing it right if you're doing PLP with every person. Okay, everybody with me? Now, if they already have that verbiage I just gave you is if they have no results with the products. They just ordered and you're getting them to post right when they order. If they have a story, it might say something like this. I just wanted to thank my friend Emily for helping me get started with X. It helped her with X, Y, and Z, and I can't believe how it's helped me with ABC. If you're looking to improve LMNOP, I hope you'll reach out or leave a comment, because I never thought I'd ever have support to change my life like this, with how it's fixed X problem in my life and made X so much easier. I hope you'll join me in this awesome community of support and accountability, because I never thought I'd be able to live like this again, and the paycheck starting to pay out for our groceries and car payment doesn't stink either. Notice that when you write this for someone, it is an example, and I would highly recommend that you finesse it to sound a little bit more natural to them. I'm just giving you the skeleton here so that you can change it and have the framework of it to turn it into whatever you want. All right. So I would actually feel confident having someone post that exact verbiage, even though it's a little clunky and awkward for someone's personality. It will get the job done. I've had people post that and had amazing results. I've had people post that and sign up 20 people in a week. It's not that it has to be perfectly curated and that it has to look like some famous Instagram person would post in an ad. Remember the research that I shared with you yesterday about how important it is to bring yourself to it and get so excited about social media tomorrow. You guys, if there's any day for you to show up to, it's tomorrow, because I'm going to blow your mind with the current research on what you need to be doing in social media today. And it is not what you think. It's totally different. All right. When do you ask them to post this? There are 3 different opportunities that you can ask someone to do a post. I like to do it. I like to feel it out with each person. So first off, I always bring it up when I'm signing them up. And if they push back on me and say, no, I'm not really that kind of a person, then I'm like, totally fine. And then I switch into gears of, I'm so excited for your package to come. It's going to be here in X amount of days. I'm going to message you. I'm going to add you to my team page. I'm going to tag you in a video about the products you just ordered. You're going to love watching it so that you can get so excited for your products to show up. And then on day 4, I'm messaging them, oh my gosh, your box just came. What do you think about opening it in a live or whatever it is, like whatever you feel comfortable with. But also, you need to take accountability for social cues. You are a human being. You do not need to be homecoming queen to understand social cues. When someone, remember, human beings are experts at reading other humans. You are an expert at reading other human beings because you are a human being and you have a prefrontal cortex and a lower primitive brain. So if you feel like something is vibing a little bit odd, then I would encourage you to ask yourself, what could I say? How could I approach this in a way that would help influence her to connect with me? That's the key. Connection is key. It's not about how can I manipulate this person to get them to do what I want? You can do that. And you can have a lot of success doing that, and it will work for you. However, I believe that long-term legacy success in network marketing is always going to win when you lead with connection first. All right. Now, if at that point you feel like it's not the right time to ask them to do that, then you're going to wait until they have some sort of like result with the product. And then that's when you would ask them. All right. And these things are things that I will help you on as you continue to allow me to be your coach. This is exactly what we do inside of the Beyond the Rank community, which I'm going to talk about more tomorrow after our social media stuff. But so if you have questions about that, you're going to want to stick around. But what I want to say is that for you to be able to go out and put these things into action and then have direct access to me in a Q&A form on a call saying, how do I do this? Then your business is going to be so much more successful than if you try to stumble in it on your own. This is why I believe everybody needs a coach. Okay, number 2, step 2. Once that first post slows down, or if they tell you no, then you're just going to put them on your follow-up list back in the bucket of they said no, it's just not yet. I'm going to get them to post later eventually. I'm going to keep asking while building the relationship over time. And then if you mess up and you push too far, guess what? Humans are very forgiving people. So you just go back to relationship building mode and you massage the relationship for as long as it takes until you can do the ask again. All right. So let's say they have said, yes, they're going to post. And some of you are saying, what happens if I don't get traction? It doesn't mean that you're going to get traction with every single person. Remember, it's not the way that you decide if you're successful at this or not is if you do your PLP with every single person. Post, live, party. Okay, so post is ask them to post. They say yes or no. If they say yes, then you run with it and you start three-way messages and you help them recruit their people the way you recruited them. Refer back to day 1 recruiting to know how to do that. If they say no, they're not going to post, then you go back into relationship building mode and you ask yourself, how could I get this person to post? What could I do to get them to post down the road later? And you keep them in that bucket of they just haven't said yes yet. And you keep massaging it. All right. We're going to go back now to the people that said yes. The people that said yes and they posted, and you did the 3-way messages, and they either got 1, 2, 3, 20, 10, whatever, or they got none. Doesn't matter either way. You don't have to get them to get an enrollment in stage 1 to move to stage 2. You're just doing PLP with everyone. Post, live, party with everyone. You ask them to do the post, you support them, you try and get them to do things. If you notice that they need to be messaging people, you need to be telling them that. I saw someone comment on your post, send them a message, tell them you're going to start a 3-way message with me. Okay, you're going to be massaging all of that and getting them to take action by your little steps that you're giving them. When that post dies down, or if it never was successful, step 2. Once it slows down, or if nothing comes from it, from making that first post, then you're going to send them a private message. And I would prefer that you do it in a voice message. And it's going to say this: what do you think about going live on Facebook and talking about the 5 things you dealt with before and the 5 things you don't deal with anymore? You could list them out in bullet points on a piece of paper and then just read them and be like, wow, this is weird. I never go live, but I have to tell you what I've been up to. I started taking X and it helped me with X, Y, and Z. And now I feel like ABC, and it's not like anything else I've ever tried before. So I'm sort of blown away. If you struggle with anything like this or LMNOP, then I hope you'll have the courage to leave a comment or send me a message, because it could help you too. I've loved having the support of my friends and the community and accountability. And now that I've made myself uncomfortable going live, I'm going to say bye. Wow, this is super awkward. Okay, bye. What do you think about doing something like that? Now, if you had a hard time understanding what I was doing there, I was sending a voice message to the person that I'm trying to get to do a Facebook Live. And I am showing them, I'm asking them to go live, and then I'm showing them what that's going to look and sound like in a way that's really relatable. And then I'm asking them if they'll do just that. I'm showing them how it makes it possible. So I'm going to do it again so you can see what that sounds like. Okay. Hi. So I'm just wondering what you would think about going live on Facebook. I know that it's probably something that you have never really done before, and it might seem like super awkward or whatever, but I was thinking if you went live and you just like wrote on a piece of paper the 5 things that the product that you dealt with before you took the products, and like the 5 things it's helped you with now, and you could just literally write it on a piece of paper, and you could go live and you could be like, hi, oh my gosh, this is so weird. I never do Facebook Lives. And I'm just sort of like feeling like I need to tell you what I've been doing in my life, because I started taking this thing and it like has made me feel so much better. I used to, and this is where you just read off the 5 things that you've written down that you felt before. And now I'm feeling like all this much better. Here are the 5 things I feel now. And anyway, this is super awkward. I never go live, and I just wanted you to know. And if you deal with any of those things or anything that you think this might help with, like, I hope you'll have the courage to send me a message or leave a comment, because maybe it could help you too. What do you think about like doing a Facebook Live like that? And then I release the voice message and send it to them. I promise you, if you do it in this way, you're going to have people that are going to say yes. Sometimes they're going to say, oh, I don't know. I don't even know how to go Facebook Live. I don't even know if I can ever do that. Like, I don't really know. And then you say, oh my gosh, I know. I'll help you. I'll show you exactly how to do it. Do you want to do it right now? And then you let them answer yes or no. And if they say no, you say, totally fine. Totally fine. No big deal. But if you ever change your mind, I'd love to show you how. And then if they don't do it, then you move to step 3 that I'm going to tell you about next. But if they do it, and if they say yes to this, right? If they say no, you're going to go to step 3, which I'm going to give you in a minute. But if they say yes, then you're going to tell them to post it with a title for the live. That's what they used to deal with, not how they're feeling better, right? Make it a title of a live that is what I like to call opposites attract. So for example, if your friend Sarah is having better energy, the title would be, I'm so tired of being tired all of the time. That's the title. Say, okay, when you go live, you're going to put this in the title. I'm so tired of being tired all the time. And then push live and say it like I taught you to say it in the voice message. And then you're going to tell them, then they're going to go do it. You're like, I'll watch you. Or you can do it right now. I'll watch you when you do it. And then they're going to do it. And then you're going to leave you're going to comment the whole time like, oh my gosh, it's me. Oh my gosh, yes. You're going to cheer it on. You're going to maybe even tell your team if you have a team, but if it's just you, just let it be you. But you might tell your team, go watch this live. This is our new friend that's like new part of the team. She's being so brave. She went and did the live. Everybody go comment. And if it's like, oh, it's private, so nobody can comment, just drop it. You don't want to overwhelm them with like, oh, sorry, you did it wrong. You didn't mark it public. So now no one can comment on the team. No, I don't even mess with that. If they have their Facebook settings set to private, I just let it be. And I just let me be enough to be supportive on their post. You are enough to just be the one person. You don't need the whole team to come. Sometimes that can be weird too. I mean, it's fine. I do it all the time too, but like, don't stress yourself out about getting them to change their settings when they're brand new and they're doing this scary thing they never thought they could ever do before. Just leave them alone. Let them do their live and post on it. And then if anybody comments, then you're going to use three-way messages to help them with the recruiting process with their interested family and friends. Okay, so you asked them to do the post, they did the post, they either got people from it or they didn't. Then you ask them to do the live. They either get people from it or they don't. If they do, great, you still do the live. If they don't, great, you still do the live. If they do the live and they get people from it, great. If they do the live and they get no one from it, great. Now you move to step 3. It's not like you're doing it 3 days in a row for every single person. Some people, they're going to do a post and you're going to be in three-way messages for a week, 10 days, a month, because they have so much influence and they have so many relationships that is going to take longer. So just let that post do its thing. You just let it live and let social media work while you sleep. It's the best. No, I don't do lives every day. No, please don't. Tell them to do this one time. This is like they can do it more than that. But like, this is sort of like a coming out party. It's like, hey, oh my gosh, look at this. This is so weird. What is she doing? I've never even seen her live before. It's getting the attention on them. Okay. So when they do the post, if it takes a little while, like if they're getting lots and lots of traction, then just allow that time and space to let that post live and breathe. And when it slows down and the enrollments kind of stop coming in, that's when you do the live. If they do the post and it's dead for 48 hours and nobody sees it, nobody comments, then you ask them to do the live. Once they've done the live, let that live live and breathe. It's a living and breathing organism, social media. Let it live and breathe and do its thing, and let it go until all the enrollments have come in. If no enrollments come in, then you go to step 3. If lots of enrollments come in, you just let it go and work for you until the enrollments kind of slow. Once the enrollments have kind of slow, or if you get none at all, then you're going to go to step 3. And the third and final step of duplication is the house party. I call it a house party. You might call it a sip and see. You might call it a jewelry thing, whatever it is that your company calls it. That's what it is, a house party. You invite people over. Think Mrs. Doubtfire vibes dancing on, like, I want you to think Mrs. Doubtfire vibes dancing on the table. That's the kind of house party I'm talking about. That's why I call it a house party. I literally picture like people dancing on the tables. That's the vibe I want to create. Okay? Fun. Like uplifting, like not like stuffy. We want it to be fun. Okay. Make it fun, make it festive, keep it casual. The way to ask someone to do this is you send them a message and you say, hi, what do you think about me coming over to your house on Thursday at 7:00? And you can invite some of your friends. And I can come over and I can share my story and they can try the products and see how they work. And then if anybody wants to sign up, we'll use your link and you'll get the referral bonus and they'll get help with whatever it is they're struggling with. What do you think? What do you think? If they say yes, then you're going to help them send messages to invite. You're going to say, send this message that says, hi, so my pink drink thing, I don't know if you saw my post or my live that I did. Wow, that was awkward. Or whatever product it is that you're selling, right? Like it might be a pink drink. It might be a piece of jewelry. It might be leggings. It might be oils. It could be anything. Right? So I did my thing. I don't know if you saw my live. I've never done one before. It was so awkward. Anyway, I'm going to have like my friend come over and talk about how the products work. And I'm going to share my story a little bit and she's going to share hers. And I wondered if you could come on Thursday at 7:00. We're going to have food and it's going to be super casual. Can you make it? You're going to have them send. Oh, good question. Holly says, are Facebook events still working? The answer is yes. Are 3-day challenges still working? Yes. Are house parties still working? Yes. It's always working, but sometimes we think it's not, and that's when it's not working. And it's not because they don't work. It's because you don't believe they work. So your actions are going to get all messy because you think it doesn't work and then you feel insecure. And because you're insecure, you don't send the messages and you don't put your heart and soul into it and you don't show up. And then the result is I prevent myself from finding a way to make it work. It's a thing, you guys. So anyone's always asking me like, is it still working? It's always working. They're always working. It just matters on if you believe it's working or not. If you believe it's working, guess what? The result in that model is going to work. Like everything works. It works if you believe it's going to work. So if you don't believe that Facebook parties work, I would not do that right now. Do it later. Do something else. Make a new thing. Try a new thing. And then if that works, then you're going to be like, oh, that worked. And then you're going to feel confident and then you're going to run with that. And then you're going to create success. Okay. So you're going to help them send invites. And then you're going to tell them that, yes. Oh, good question, Steph. Thank you. So if they live too far away, you can duplicate this whole process in a Zoom event. I would recommend doing like a 30-minute Zoom, like an info Zoom, where you do the same thing that you would say at a house party. You just do it on a Zoom and you invite the same way. You could say, oh, we're giving a free gift with, like, if you come, we're going to give you like a door prize just for coming. Right? So they walk into the house or they come onto the Zoom and they're getting a door prize. I like inexpensive samples for that. You don't have to say what it is. You just say you're going to get a door prize and it's amazing. And it is, it's going to be amazing. It's going to change their life, but you don't have to be specific about what it is. Okay. You're going to get a door prize. I can't wait for you to see what it is. Come live and you're going to get it. Right. And then if you sign up at the live event, you're going to get a gift with purchase. If you sign up on the live Zoom, you're going to get a gift with purchase. And by the way, the first 2 people that kick us off with signups that buy a package, we're going to give them a $5 Amazon gift card. Who wants to go first? Right? So make them affordable for you. People will do anything for a $5 Amazon gift card, I have found. They want to be the first ones. They want to win. So they're going to do it before someone else snags it. And if you get 1 and you get 2, then all of a sudden everybody's signing up. It's magic. Okay. And then sometimes it doesn't work, but it doesn't mean you stop doing it. It just means it didn't work with those people and you just do PLP over and over and over again. And you don't say, Emily, it's not working. No, if you do it this way, just how I've taught you with this verbiage, it will work with the people that you stumble upon. And if you only do it inconsistently with the people you think that will do it, or the people that you think are going to have influence, or the people that you think you're going to take off, then you're going to miss the diamond in the rough. You don't know if they can do it or not. It is your thought. And if you judge and make preconceived notions about how people will or will not be successful, you will prevent yourself from getting to the top of your company. People surprise me and shock me every day. Some of the people that I never in a million years thought were going to post have posted and hit the top of the company simply because I decided quite simply that I was going to do PLP with every single person and I was not going to judge anyone. I was just going to do it. This is the only thing that you can control, my friend. You cannot control if they do the post or do the live or let you come to their house to do a house party. You can only control that you take the action and that you are committed. And what I would offer you in your T line with all of this, in duplication, what I want to offer you as your intentional T line is I am committed to taking the 3 steps with every person I recruit. That's it. And when you choose that thought, you're going to have some sort of a feeling of conviction, confidence, or trust. And from that action, you're going to do your PLP every single time with every single person. And if you will strive to get through each and every one of these steps with every person you recruit, you will stumble onto the business builders of your dreams over and over and over again. It's when you tell yourself that she won't be interested, or they already have plenty of money, or they think you're weird for asking, that you miss this one here and the one there that would have been the one to run with you. It's when you think you know what people are thinking when it's really your thought and not a fact, that you mess yourself up and cut yourself off at the knees and fall. You don't know what people want or need unless you ask them. The more you allow what you think to be true about them, the more you block yourself from finding out what's actually true and how you can actually help them. And you get what you want this year. All right? Now listen up, because you're going to feel a lot of disappointment, discouragement, and frustration. And what you are going to need to commit this year to is allowing all of it. Are you willing to allow some negative emotion to find the next person on your team that's going to take you to the top of your company? Drop a 1 in the comments if you are. As you drop this commitment to yourself in the comments, what I want to say to you is that your body was made to experience negative emotion and positive emotion. It's always going to be 50-50. The only reason why you want to avoid negative emotion and you want to go watch Netflix, or you want to go eat a cookie, or you want to go scroll social media when you feel frustrated that someone told you no or ignored you or ghosted you, is because your brain simply thinks that frustration means death. And so in those moments when you're feeling frustrated, you can actually interrupt your model between your F feeling line and your A action line. And you can imagine drawing the biggest, blackest, darkest line here in your mind and say, I'm feeling frustrated because someone told me no or ignored me. And instead of taking action from frustration, I'm going to allow it. I'm going to process it like I taught you yesterday. And then you're going to decide what you want to do next. This is where the manuals come in. Step 1, realize you have a manual and that it's based on other people. Recognize the benefit of taking responsibility for your rules that you have made up for yourself and others on your team or people you're recruiting in, and hoping to turn them into business builders, i.e. duplicate, and how they should behave. What is the manual that you have for them? Write it out in a few short sentences. What is the manual you have for yourself and how you should be duplicating at whatever level you're at? Like, do you have a thought that's like, I should be duplicating more. I'm at the top of my company and I should be duplicating more, but like, I just am so tired and I just don't want to do it. Like, write that out and see what emotions that's bringing up for you. Because if you're thinking that, guess what, sister? It's coming up here in the R line, because what you think is always what you create. And if you're someone who's brand new and you're like, I just can't duplicate, I'm just not good at it, I don't have a team, I can't do it, then hear what's happening. You're creating that result of I block myself from figuring it out. Stop it. Okay. Recognize the model and the manual you have for yourself and write it out. Number 2, create personal operating manuals for yourself and how you want to show up. Most of us can't even control ourselves, yet we think we can control others. And this is a thought error. And not even true, and usually ineffective. Controlling our own behavior is challenging enough. How do you want to act when you cannot get someone to follow the PLP, the post live party house party stuff. How do you want to show up and act in that moment? What are the instructions to duplicate the behaviors you want? How do you want to respond? Do you want to go on an emotional roller coaster and tell your upline you quit, this doesn't work, or that you are never going to be able to do this? What does your highest and best self want to think and feel ahead of time with intention? And it doesn't mean that you should always feel that way. It's noticing when you're having a little bit of a temper tantrum and you're noticing, I'm noticing I want to quit today because I feel like this is never going to work. Interesting. I have a sentence in my head that's creating frustration in me. And what I'm doing from frustration is telling people that I'm going to quit. And the result that I have is I quit on myself. Interesting. Is that what I want? That's not really what I want. What does my highest and best self want to think and feel ahead of time with intention? How do you want to act when your team doesn't do what you want them to do? How do you want to respond? Spend some time journaling this tonight. Step 3, ask yourself why you want people to do things differently than they're doing and why. Why do you want your customers to act differently? So it will be easier? Why should it be easy? How do you know it's supposed to be easy? How are you wrong that easy would be better? Why do you want your team or upline to act differently? You think that if your upline changes the way that they act and behave, and that if your team changes the way they act and behave, that you will feel better. That's it, my friend. That's all it is. But this is all wrong because it is what we think that affects how we feel. The only reason why you might feel better when someone does follow your manual, like the person on your team that's always commenting on everything you post, like I'm in and I'll be on the power hour and I'll host the 15-minute messenger party like they should, is because you're choosing to think this person likes and cares about me when they do this or something like that. And that is what might cause you to feel good. It's because of what you're thinking when they act differently that makes you feel better or worse, not what they're actually doing. Here's the secret to your upline no longer being difficult and your team not working the way they should. Take responsibility for how you feel and you'll take all your power back. If you think your upline is the problem and your team is the problem, you're giving all of your power away to change the situation over to them. When we don't take responsibility for how we feel, we give that power away to someone else based on their behavior, and it will mess you up every time. You want someone to behave differently so you can feel better. But in the end, that's not even possible because other people's actions cannot dictate your feelings. Your thoughts create your feelings. Take responsibility for how you feel, regardless of other people's behavior. This is such a more empowering way to live, and it creates way better results in your life. This does not mean you stay in relationships that are harming you in any way, emotionally or physically, or not serving you well. You need to do what's necessary to take care of yourself. And did you know that your success in network marketing is not reliant upon who is above you or who is below you? It's just on what you decide to think and how you decide to show up. And isn't that amazing? And you will say, but I need a team to be successful. I will argue with that until the cows come home. Now, you need to do what's necessary to take care of yourself, although boundaries are appropriate and sometimes changes and distance might need to happen. Trying to control and manipulate other people never works. Instead, it will just make you feel and act like a crazy person. You get to decide what you're going to do with your time, how you're going to respond, and when you want to make changes in your life and your team, the way you run your organization and what you want based on what you have control over. This doesn't mean that you need to go burn the house down impulsively. Okay. It's truly possible to let go of all of your rules, all of your regulations, and all of your attempts to control people in your life. Consider letting things go and making requests if you want to, but with no strings attached. Genuinely notice what people do when you don't try to control them. If you focused on trying to control only yourself and your responses to how other people behave, what do you imagine your life would be like? When we don't try to control others, they feel safe to bring us their true selves. And we in turn allow our true selves to come out too. This is what authentic, genuine, intimate relationships are made of. We can be much calmer when we don't make others' end actions mean something negative, and we can also really hear them out. We can get their perspective on things. We can hear their side of the story. We can understand why they do or do not do what we've requested. If you'll just throw away your manuals, you may end up doing things you don't want to do. But your relationships, especially the one with yourself, will improve dramatically. If you're willing to give it a try, you will find that this will change everything in your life. I promise you. Okay, I'm going to bring on one person to get coached right now with their problems with duplication. Why do you think it won't work, what I've taught you, how you can't get anyone to do it the way I've suggested, and how you're tired of dragging your teams to do it with you? Bring me all your problems. Raise your hand. Who's going to get coached today? Remember, please be somewhere that there's nothing distracting going on or anything like that. And I will pick someone. You guys are so amazing. I love how everybody raises their hands and is so willing to participate. All right, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Leanne Britton, it's your turn, my friend. Oh, hold on. Wait, where'd you go? Oh, Zoom. Oh, it's just like bringing her on. I don't know how it did that. I didn't even request to make you a panelist. It really must be your turn, Leanne, because that like literally just defied the laws of Zoom. Can you put your camera on?
I'm trying to find it.
There should be a little thing on are you on your phone or a computer?
I'm on my computer.
On your computer, if you look at Zoom, on the lower left-hand corner, it says start video, and there's like a little video camera.
I used to have this, usually it's there, but it's not.
That's okay. I can just coach you like this too, if you can't do it. It should be right next to the microphone.
Yeah, it's not there. That's kind of weird because usually it is there.
Don't worry. We can just talk like this. I can see your gorgeous face just like this. Okay, Leanne.
Okay.
Tell me what I can help you with today.
I think I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do my camera, but I can't.
Oh, don't worry. We'll just forget about the camera. It was always supposed to be this way. I was never supposed to see your face. It's all happening exactly the way it was supposed to.
Okay.
Okay, go.
I guess the biggest thing with me is that I get these people to sign up and then they share like one time and they maybe sign up one person. I have like 3 people that have like 1 or 2 people under them. And then they just stop. And then they may not order the product again, or they just order 1 or 2 things. And then they say, I want to do it, but then they just don't do it. So I don't know where to go with that.
So this is such a good question. And I think we've figured out in the comments why we can't see your video. It's because it brought you on before it allowed me to promote you to panelist. So that's why it's not like doing it for some reason. So we're just not going to worry about it. But that's why it didn't. Oh, okay. I know what it's going to work now. It's going to work now. I might ask you to like accept it, but it's going to work now. We're going to see your face and it's going to be amazing. Okay. So this is such a great point that you just brought up.
Okay. I'm here.
Oh, good. There you are. See, there's all these geniuses on the Zoom with us.
1 second.
The geniuses on the Zoom figured it out. Can you hear me now? You can hear me now. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So the reason, like, first of all, we can put this in the model and we can be like, oh, here's your thought. Like, here's the result it takes. But what I want to do instead is make this more of a Q&A session with you, because I really want to show you a key point here that everybody needs to understand, including you, right? And that is that we think, again, that it's only working if it's taking them all the way to the very end. And I want you to imagine that we are on this like highway and we're driving our car and you know you're going to make it all the way to the end. And the end is the top of the company, right? That's the end. That's where we want to, that's the finish line, right? So we are committed. We're like, we're going there. We packed our bags. We're getting the road food. Like, this is so fun. We're on the way. Here we go. We're driving. And you know how human beings like sometimes just don't finish what they start. Or they start something and they're like, ugh, I don't really like this. Like, how many times have you bought an outfit, like a shirt or pants or a dress, and you're like in the store, you're like, I love this. And then you get it home and you wear it a couple times and you're like, oh, this sweater, it's like pilling all over. Like it was so cute before. And then I wore it and washed it. Now I don't like it anymore. And then we just like eventually give it away to the Goodwill. Right? The shirt wasn't ever supposed to stay with us forever. Right? It was supposed to like appear in a couple family photos. It was supposed to go to the ballet. Like it was supposed to come to a couple of different things that we were always going to remember it in, but it was never going to stay with us the whole time because it turns out we didn't actually like it. Sort of like when you order something at a restaurant and you're like, oh, this is going to be so good. And it tastes amazing. And then you get food poisoning after and you're like, I can't ever eat stroganoff again. Like it's done. We're done. Or when you're pregnant and you're like, scrambled eggs sounds so good. Scrambled eggs, orange juice and a bagel. And then you end up throwing it up and you're like, I can't ever eat that again. And you're like, I'm never going to be able to eat that again. And then 5 years later, you're like, oh, I actually think I could try eating it again. This is nice, right? It's just sometimes we think we want something and then we realize we don't want it. And as network marketers, what we do, we have these manuals, right? Like if somebody says they're going to do it, like they need to come with me all the way. And then we get mad at them or we say, or what we normally do is we say, must be me. I must be doing it wrong. I'm the problem. And that is just simply not true. That is a thought error. It's not you. If you will follow the duplication system, the PLP that I just gave you, it's not that you're sorting through to find the only one that's going to do it. You're sorting through hundreds of people over the course of several years, and you're finding out which ones are going to run for a little bit. And then when they stop running, it gives you more time to go find someone else that's going to run for a little bit. And as you sort through all those people, like the system that I gave you, the 3-step duplication system, the PLP, post, live, party, that system is meant to take anyone to like the 3rd rank in a company, 20 orders around there. Depending on everybody's compensation plan, it's going to be a little bit different, but it is meant to take you to like that 3rd rank in any company. And sometimes it gets some people further than that. Sometimes it doesn't get anyone past the 1st rank, but we are sorting through people to see if we can get them to there. And then from there, we're sorting through an even smaller tier of who we're going to get past that. And the way we get it past that is then we get them to then do the duplication steps with the people they've just recruited. So it's like, I like to think of it as a game, like a video game, where I open up a new level. Like when I recruit someone and they come in and I have them join and then I get them to post. I'm like, ooh, we've unlocked Bowser's Castle. Boom. Who played Super Mario Brothers when they were little? Yes. Oh, I still remember the sense of achievement that I felt the very first time I beat Bowser's Castle. I was like, Mom, I am the greatest human to have ever lived. Are you so proud of me? She's like, good job. Get off that thing. Right. And there weren't even like handbooks back then, you guys. I had to figure it out on my own. But listen, when you unlock that first level, then it allows you to do the next level with them. And when you unlock that level, it allows you to do the next level. But sometimes Mario gets killed by something on the way. So you got to just start the game over and try again. And if you'll think of your business as a video game and like beating Bowser's Castle is when you finally get to the top of your company. Like I didn't just play the video game once to learn how to beat Bowser's Castle. I died. I killed Mario a lot. Like we went down the tunnel chutes and he death by fire and they drowned a couple times. Like it was like years and years of me trying to get to Bowser's castle. And every time that I killed my Mario, started at the beginning again. And the beginning phase got easier. And then the middle phase got easier because I just kept doing it over and over and over again. And see, we think that we have so much scarcity around runners that we think there's just only going to be one. And if we lose her, then all is lost. We're just never going to find another one because it was just so hard to get the one to post. And now she's gone and all is lost. And it's not true. It's a thought error. You're going to find more people. The only way you stop finding people is you stop looking.
Right.
That's it. You just stop looking. And so it is this video game to the top of the company. And anytime a leader quits or ghosts you, or they get to the third rank and then they just disappear, be like, yep, Mario just died by fire. Time to start again. Hit restart, hit game over, hit start on the thing. We're restarting the game and start again. That's all it is. It's just that one. We learned something there. What did we learn? Well, we learned you got to run a little bit faster before you jump from the one tower to the other tower if you're going to make it across that jump. Otherwise, you die in the lava. Right? Okay, so tell me what you're thinking now, seeing it in this way.
That helps a lot. I guess my question would be like, how long do I put time into a person before I say, I let them go? Does that make
until
sense?
They disappear? Until they disappear. Because listen, you're like, and I am opting out of the verbiage of dragging people. And I've used this verbiage for a long time. Like, oh, I can't drag anyone anymore. When I started noticing, when I was thinking that thought, oh, I can't drag people. I can't drag them anymore. It's like so dramatic. And it made me feel powerless when I thought it. And I was like, is that the way I want to think about that? And I decided, I was like, you know what? Like, I just want to opt out of that. Like, I'm just not going to use that verbiage anymore to describe when someone decides that this isn't for them. And I also don't like the term like disappear or whatever. Like when someone decides that this isn't for them, I try to watch my words in how I describe it as the story my brain wants to tell about it. So if I have someone that isn't enrolling or isn't taking care of their team or isn't coming to events or isn't checking in the team chat, I will say things to myself like, how do I want to approach checking in with that person and what their goals and expectations are moving forward? And maybe it requires, maybe my brain's like, well, we should go out to lunch, or we should make a phone call, or we should say, hey, miss you. Like, I haven't seen you in a while. Is everything okay? But instead, we don't want to feel uncomfortable with their response. So we just avoid doing it all together. And then we're like, oh, my team disappeared. That whole team just fell off. No, it didn't. It didn't just fall off. Susie stopped ordering on this date. And then Sally stopped ordering on this date. And then Megan stopped ordering on this date. Well, why? Do we know? No, we don't know. Okay, let's go find out, right? We have all these dramatic descriptions of why things happen. And like I taught yesterday on day one, there are stories and there are facts. And the more you can call your brain out on the facts, the more you're going to get a little bit more emotional control over yourself in the stories.
Right. And I think that's where my issue is. I start thinking, well, they don't like me anymore. Or they don't want to do that, But I have a couple
what do you
that
think that's about? What do you think that's about? Like, why are you committed to believing that it's about liking you? And we know there's like the biological component that I taught you at the beginning.
Yeah.
I know that.
I don't know. I think it's because, I am a people pleaser. I want everyone to be happy.
Me too.
I seem to attract those that are needy.
You're a human being. You're a human being, so you attract other human beings, right? And
Mhm.
if you want to define yourself as a people pleaser that seems to attract people like this, you
Mhm.
disempower yourself.
Yeah.
And I just want to point that out to you so that you can
Okay.
decide if that's how you want to position yourself when you think about your business. Is that how
Okay.
you want to think about yourself?
No.
That's what's currently happening with the model you're in when you say things like, I'm a people pleaser and I just seem to attract people that are this way.
Mhm.
Right? I would call myself out on that and I would be like, interesting. Like, why are we so committed? Because I believe that human beings do everything all the time to feel a certain way. So when you think, I just attract these people, like, then how does that make you feel?
I get exhausted because I feel like I'm trying to help them and give them so much and nobody's helping me. Maybe I guess that's part of it. I don't know.
And it's almost like there's this victimization coming up there.
Mhm.
So what do you get out of receiving that you like?
You don't know.
Let's take a guess.
I get I guess I mean, I enjoy people coming to me and helping them, and maybe that's why they come to me because I do. It makes me feel good about that. Hey, I helped that person, and maybe that's
And
what it
when
is.
you think, hey, I helped that person, how do you feel? Take yourself to that moment. Hey, I helped that person. You feel what?
It makes me happy, but then on the other hand, if I'm doing that too much, then I mean, I get it wears me out
But hang on,
because
before put a pin
yeah.
in that. Hold on. I want to take
Okay.
you back and slow you down into this one moment first. Okay. When you say, hey, I helped them, you said happy.
Mhm.
I think we could
Mhm.
probably get more descriptive with the emotion that it gives you in that moment. That's better than happy because it's something more than happy. It's fulfilling some sort of a need inside of you. And that's why you continue to seek it
Mhm.
and you do it at your own expense
Mhm.
because your brain wants to feel that way more often than not. Because remember, we
Mhm.
want to feel 100% happy all the time. We think it's how we
Right.
survive. Vicky is offering the word valued. Does that resonate with you at all?
Yeah, I think that probably is accurate. Yeah.
If you had to pick between happy and valued, which one would you pick? Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. I want to know what your brain wants to say. Valued or happy?
I would say probably valued.
Okay. And if we said valued and needed, which one would you pick?
That's a tough one. Um, I still think valued probably.
Okay. So valued is the emotion that continues to drive you to this sort of like burnout level with it.
Mhm.
So this is
Mhm.
just simply because the human brain loves dopamine. That's it. It's the happy
Mhm.
hormone, which is why you said happy when I asked you how you made it feel. And I was like, that's good, but
Right.
I'm like, my English teacher sophomore year, Miss Raditz, she would always be like, go deeper, Emily, go deeper. Right. Is that I'm like conjuring that right now, like go deeper with me,
Mhm.
deeper, Leanne, right? Like happy, yes, but
Mhm.
needed is really at the root of that. So what is that
Mhm.
attachment to wanting to feel needed? What is that about?
I don't know. That's it's hard to I don't know.
If
I
we
guess
had
I
to take a
just
guess, what do you think it
yeah.
could be about? The
I
desire
don't know.
to
I
feel needed.
think I don't know. I guess I just naturally like to help people and I don't I maybe I just need to feel needed. I don't know.
It would be really fascinating to explore that the rest of
Mhm.
this week as you think about it,
Okay.
right? Like
Okay.
ask yourself that question. What is it about this desire to be needed? Where is it coming from? What is that about? What
Okay.
is it that I love so much about it? What does it fill inside of me? And how does it allow me to show up when I seek it? Because when
Okay.
you find the answer to that question, your brain will eventually give it to you. It's right now, it's just, it's trying to conserve energy and seek pleasure and avoid discomfort. So it just says, I don't know. And then that shuts down your
Mhm.
brain's curiosity and it just shuts it down immediately. It's like, oh, prefrontal. It's like, nope, lower brain can't do it. So when you hear yourself, when you ask yourself this question over the next couple of days and you say like, what is that about? Like, Leanne, self, what's that about? Right? Like, where's that coming
Mhm.
from? When did that start for me? Like, ask yourself these questions. Your brain will always give you the answer. It has this memory house that it can pull from that's incredible. And if you
Mhm.
hear your brain say, I don't know, that's your prefrontal trying to relax. And what I want you to say back to it is, okay, let's just take a guess though. If we just could take a guess, what could it be about? And we don't even have to like find the answer today. It might be something we just think about for a couple of days. And if you relieve that
Mhm.
pressure from yourself and then open up your brain with the let's just take a guess, it's going to give you the answer. And then you're going to know.
Okay.
Then you can bring it back to coaching and I'll help you get to the root cause of what that's all about and deciding if
Mhm.
that's what you still want to believe and if you want to do some work to believe something different to get a different result in your life.
Okay.
It is
Thank you.
so cool. Okay, you're welcome. All right, I'm going to
Thank
put
you
you
so
back
much.
now. You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to put you back now. All right, you guys. We are done for the day. Great call. Thank you to everyone today that participated in the chat. Thank you to Leanne for getting coached today. That is what makes this call amazing, is your participation, whether you're watching on the live or you're listening on the replay right now. For your homework tonight, if you haven't done it yet, I want you to list out the manuals you have for yourself and your team. Ask yourself, how would you feel if they did it the way you wanted them to? This is really important to identify the reason why you think you want them to do it the way you want, right? Like, I want you to sit and I want you to say, okay, this is the manual I have. This is how I want them to do it. And then ask yourself, if they did it in this exact way, why would I be happy about it? How would I feel if they did it exactly the way I wanted them to? And this is where you're going to have your mind blown, because then you're going to ask yourself, how is it the best thing ever for you that they never change? What are you getting out of them being exactly the way they are and never changing? It's so fun to see what comes up when we play with our thoughts in this way. Be curious, be compassionate with yourself, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow for social media today. And after that, in the middle of social media day, I'm going to give you information on Beyond the Rank and how it can work for you if you're interested and you're wondering what it's going to look like when this week is done, or maybe you just never want this to end and it doesn't have to, right? And so in between our live coaching and our social media class, I'm going to be doing a short little question and answer, and I'm going to give you some information on how, if you don't want this to end, what you're going to be able to choose. There's 3 different lanes, and there's so many ways that you can engage with the community depending on your goals for this year. I've totally redone it for the new year, and I'll be unveiling all of it for the first time. My members don't even know about it yet. It's going to blow your mind, and I'll answer questions tomorrow, and then we'll jump into more coaching. All right, you guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for everything. You brought your energy today to this call, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.